Hi, guys. We're so glad to see you again. During the naturalization interview, USCIS officers might ask you to explain certain vocabulary words on the N400 application form, especially in Part 9, to verify that you have understood the questions. Today, I'm going to go over the most asked vocabulary words based on the feedback I've received from the actual applicants. Our goal is to provide you with the necessary knowledge to feel confident and well prepared as you study for the Citizenship Test. Are you ready to practice? Let's begin.
Claim to be a U.S. citizen. What does claim to be a U.S. citizen mean? What does claim to be a U.S. citizen mean? To state you are a U.S. citizen. To state you are a U.S. citizen. Registered. What does registered mean? What does registered mean? To sign up. To sign up. Vote. Can you explain to me what vote means? Can you explain to me what vote means? To elect new leaders. To elect new leaders. How? What does O mean? What does O mean? To have a debt. To have a debt. Overdue. Can you define overdue? Can you define overdue? Past a deadline. Past a deadline. Owe taxes. What does owe taxes mean? What does owe taxes mean? To owe the government money. To owe the government money. File a tax return. Do you know what file a tax return means? Do you know what file a tax return means? To send tax paperwork to the government. To send tax paperwork to the government. Non-U.S. resident. Do you know the meaning of non-U.S. resident? Do you know the meaning of non-U.S. resident? Not a U.S. resident. Not a U.S. resident. Totalitarian party. Do you know what totalitarian party is? Do you know what totalitarian party is? Government controls everything, and people have no power. Government controls everything, and people have no power. Communist Party. What is a communist party? What is a communist party? No freedom like China and North Korea. No freedom like China and North Korea. Terrorist organization. Do you know what terrorist organization is? Do you know what terrorist organization is? It's an organization that uses violence against people. It's an organization that uses violence against people. Overthrow of a government. What does overthrow of a government mean? What does overthrow of a government mean? To remove a government from power. To remove a government from power. Kill. What does kill mean? What does kill mean? To cause a death of a person. To cause a death of a person. Torture. What does torture mean? What does torture mean? To hurt someone physically. To hurt someone physically. Genocide. Do you know what genocide means? Do you know what genocide means? To kill a whole race. To kill a whole race. Forced sexual contact or relation. What is forced sexual contact or relation? What is forced sexual contact or relation? To touch someone's body when they don't want it. To touch someone's body when they don't want it. Military unit. What is a military unit? What is a military unit? A group that works for a government to fight in a war. A group that works for a government to fight in a war. Paramilitary unit. What is a paramilitary unit? What is a paramilitary unit? It's like a military group but is not official. It's like a military group but is not official. Police unit. What is a police unit? What is a police unit? A group that protects community. A group that protects community. Self-defense unit. What is a self-defense unit? What is a self-defense unit? A group that protects a place. A group that protects a place. Vigilante unit. Can you explain what a vigilante unit is? Can you explain what a vigilante unit is? A group that acts like the police, but are not the police. A group that acts like the police, but are not the police. Rebel group. What is a rebel group? What is a rebel group? A group fights a government. A group fights a government. Guerrilla group. What is a guerrilla group? What is a guerrilla group? A group uses weapons to attack the government. A group uses weapons to attack the government. Insurgent organization. Please explain what an insurgent organization is. Please explain what an insurgent organization is. A group fights a government. A group fights a government. Militia. What is a militia? What is a militia? An army does not work for a government. An army does not work for a government. Prison or jail. What is prison or jail? What is prison or jail? A place where prisoners are kept. A place where prisoners are kept. Prison camp. Do you know what a prison camp means? Do you know what a prison camp means? A place to keep enemy soldiers. A place to keep enemy soldiers. Detention facility. What is a detention facility? What is a detention facility? A place where people are forced to stay. A place where people are forced to stay. Labor camp. What is a labor camp? What is a labor camp? A place where people are forced to work. A place where people are forced to work. Weapon? Can you explain to me what a weapon is? Can you explain to me what a weapon is? It's like a knife or gun. It's like a knife or gun. Weapons training. What is weapons training? What is weapons training? To learn how to use a gun. To learn how to use a gun. Threaten. What does threaten mean? What does threaten mean? To warn to hurt someone. To warn to hurt someone. Recruit. What does recruit mean? What does recruit mean? To ask. To ask. Enlist. What does enlist mean? What does enlist mean? To join the army. To join the army. Conscript. Do you understand what conscript is? Do you understand what conscript is? To require someone to join the army. To require someone to join the army. Combat. What is combat? What is combat? To fight in war. To fight in war. Commit a crime. What does commit a crime mean? What does commit a crime mean? To do something that breaks the law. To do something that breaks the law. Crime. What is a crime? What is a crime? An action that breaks the law. An action that breaks the law. Offense. What does offense mean? What does offense mean? A minor crime. A minor crime. Arrested. What does arrested mean? What does arrested mean? Handcuffed by the police. Handcuffed by the police. Cited. What does cited mean? What does cited mean? Given a ticket by police. Given a ticket by police. Detained. Do you know what detained means? Do you know what detained means? Held in custody by police. Held in custody by police. Charged. What does charged mean? What does charged mean? Police tell you you did something illegal. Police tell you you did something illegal. Convicted. Can you tell me what convicted means? Can you tell me what convicted means? To be found guilty of a crime. To be found guilty of a crime. Alternative sentencing. Do you understand what alternative sentencing means? Do you understand what alternative sentencing means? A different way to punish someone. A different way to punish someone. Rehabilitative program. What is a rehabilitative program? What is a rehabilitative program? A program to help someone restore health. A program to help someone restore health. Probation. Do you know what probation is? Do you know what probation is? You report to an officer regularly instead of jail time. You report to an officer regularly instead of jail time. Parole. Do you know what parole is? Do you know what parole is? The early release of a prisoner. The early release of a prisoner. Smuggle. Do you know the meaning of smuggle? Do you know the meaning of smuggle? To take things to a country illegally. To take things to a country illegally. Controlled substances. Do you understand what controlled substances means? Do you understand what controlled substances means? You can buy it with a prescription, but with restrictions. You can buy it with a prescription, but with restrictions. Illegal drugs or narcotics. What are illegal drugs or narcotics? What are illegal drugs or narcotics? It's like heroin or cocaine. It's like heroin or cocaine. Procure. What does procure mean? What does procure mean? To find someone for sex. To find someone for sex. Prostitute. What does prostitute mean? What does prostitute mean? Someone who has sex for money. Someone who has sex for money. Immigration benefit. What is immigration benefit? What is immigration benefit? Things like a visa, green card, or citizenship. Things like a visa, green card, or citizenship. Gamble. Can you explain to me what gamble means? Can you explain to me what gamble means? To play a game for money. To play a game for money. Pay alimony. Do you understand what pay alimony means? Do you understand what pay alimony means? To pay money to ex-spouse after a divorce. To pay money to ex-spouse after a divorce. Public benefit. Do you know the meaning of public benefit? Do you know the meaning of public benefit? Welfare like food stamps. Welfare like food stamps. False. What does false mean? What does false mean? Not true. Not true. Fraudulent. What does fraudulent mean? What does fraudulent mean? To claim something that is not true. To claim something that is not true. Misleading. What does misleading mean? What does misleading mean? To give a wrong idea. To give a wrong idea. Misrepresentation. What does misrepresentation mean? What does misrepresentation mean? To lie or give wrong information. To lie or give wrong information. Lie. Can you explain what lie means? Can you explain what lie means? To say something that is not true. To say something that is not true. Exclude. What does exclude mean? What does exclude mean? To prevent from entering the United States. To prevent from entering the United States. Deport. What does deport mean? What does deport mean? To force a person to leave a country. To force a person to leave a country. Rescission. Do you know the meaning of rescission? Do you know the meaning of rescission? To take back a decision. To take back a decision. Deportation proceedings. What are deportation proceedings? What are deportation proceedings? Process of removing a person. Process of removing a person. Pending. What does pending mean? What does pending mean? Waiting to happen. Waiting to happen. Hereditary title. Do you know what hereditary title means? Do you know what hereditary title means? A royal title such as prince or princess. A royal title such as prince or princess. Order of nobility. Do you know what order of nobility means? Do you know what order of nobility means? Like king or queen. Like king or queen. U.S. Armed Forces. What is U.S. Armed Forces? What is U.S. Armed Forces? Like Army or Navy. Like Army or Navy. Selective service. What is selective service? What is selective service? Services in armed forces under law. Services in armed forces under law. Form of government of the United States. What is form of government of the United States? What is form of government of the United States?
Republic. Republic.
Constitution. Can you explain what Constitution means? Can you explain what Constitution means? It is the supreme law of the land. It is the supreme law of the land. Oath of allegiance. What is an oath of allegiance? What is an oath of allegiance? A promise to be loyal to the United States. A promise to be loyal to the United States. Bear arms. Can you define bear arms? Can you define bear arms? To own or use a gun. To own or use a gun. Non-combatant services. Do you understand the meaning of non-combatant services? Do you understand the meaning of non-combatant services? Services that do not involve combat. Services that do not involve combat. Work of national importance. What is work of national importance? What is work of national importance? Tasks that are important to a nation. Tasks that are important to a nation. Civilian direction. What is a civilian direction? What is a civilian direction? A direction from a person who is not in the military. A direction from a person who is not in the military.